1968. Ring out the old, ring in the new. We'll share a cup of kindness. It may not sound like much, but it's on the house.
Yes, salute to those old acquaintances. A kiss, a sigh, a whimper, fond farewell, a last dance.
Right.
A banana. A love-in for one and all. Yes, it's New Year's Eve. It's really something else, isn't it, Dick?
Right, Tommy, I really got to hand it to you. You know, it's just the way we've always spent New Year's Eve. Watching other people having fun on television.
Yeah, isn't that wild? Look at them having a ball.
Hey, look at that. Happy New Year, folks.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Good night, everybody, and Happy New Year. Well, there you have it, our New Year's Eve show, 1967.
Although that was our New Year's Eve show, 1967, and we
Yes, it
did
was.
tape it in June prior to it.
Yeah, it's so hard to get in the spirit of it. But generally, you want holidays with your family, so you have to want to go on a hiatus, so you bank them.
So occasionally we were on New Year's Eve. Actually, we did a couple of Johnny Carson Tonight shows on New Year's
That's
Eve.
when we weren't working, though.
But nobody else would do it.
I know it. They called us up one day and said, could you guys please do our show? Yeah, that was fun. But Eddie Albert, let's get back to Eddie Albert. I know I said at the top of the show, brought a lot of culture and verse, but I just loved the enthusiasm Eddie brought to the show.
He was an old song and dance man. And
a fine actor, Academy Award nominated actor. Trapeze artist, he did that too. But this Johnny Schmoker bit, and I, having young children, I just loved getting into the enthusiasm of that.
all the guests that when we had them on the show, the guests would come on, we'd have something prepared for them, or if we didn't have something prepared, we'd say any ideas you'd like to bring to the show. And Eddie Albert said, I remember this song, I'd like to do this particular piece of material.
My father taught me that song. I come from a German family.
Klick, klick, das ist Piano. Zoom, 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 das ist mein Dio. Hi, 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 das ist mein Violin. Ha, 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 das ist mein Trombone.
How I got moving so fast, I couldn't do that anymore. I'd walk away like Tommy did. I couldn't do it. Witty, witty, wink, das ist mein Pfeife. Wink, 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 and so on. But I teach it to my children and grandchildren. So, well, I guess so. It's going to go on indefinitely.
Now, Judy Collins, we mentioned briefly at the top of the show. We knew her long before her success.
Our first job we ever did, Dickie and I ever performed
as a duet.
As a duet, the Smothers brothers, the two of us, was with Judy Collins.
Now, we started as a trio first year. And then 1 year. And then we opened up the Limelight in Aspen, Colorado, owned by the Limelighters, by the way. And who was on the bill?
Judy Collins.
Yeah.
And Don Crawford.
Of folk singers.
These were both, back then, very serious folk singers.
How can you tell a good, honest ethnic folk singer?
Well, they generally sing every single verse, plus every chorus in between the verses. And
48 verses to a minor-keyed hanging song.
The generally hanging song. So from both Johnny Crawford and from Judy Collins, who we do adore and we like very much, but the seriousness of their music, they kind of sent us on our way to become satirical folk singers ourselves. We sang John Henry deadly serious. And hangman, slack your rope.
Well,
Judy sang that all the time.
Crawford did that. John Henry took him 10 minutes to get through the history of this guy. He raced the steam drill, and Judy.
When we did it, it became 15.
15. But I can't say anything stronger. You were more profoundly affected in the style and the attitude of the Smothers Brothers from Judy Collins.
And remember, I knew these guys from Colorado, and I remember being extremely shy. I was extremely shy. I don't know how, out of all the things that I could have done, I became a performer, really. But I guess being a singer was what led me into having to be public and having to learn to be less shy. But they always rather slightly embarrassed me, not in a bad way at all, but they kind of made me giggly and sort of feeling as though I was a little bit in high school and a little bit kind of intimidated and amused at the same time. When I first met them in Aspen, in the snowstorms of 1959, we were working at the Limelight, and I'll just never forget it. I mean, first of all, they were so funny. I would stand backstage watching them work before I went on, and just falling apart, screeching with laughter, and loving their humor.
You know, in a minor way, sort of like having variety shows, hit shows like being president. You could have all your old friends come in and work for you.
That was kind of nice having your own show, because you brought your friends.
You brought your friends, and then you find out your friends are doing just fine. We hope this comedy hour brought back some pleasant memories. Or if you weren't around back then, maybe you learned a little bit about what the world and TV were like in 1967.
We'll see you next time with another original Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour on E, the easiest network to spell.
Tomorrow on the Smothers Brothers, it's Arthur Godfrey, Moms Mabley, and the Bee Gees with Hair. That's tomorrow.